This is a CBC podcast.
Are you saying that it's possible that this high-profile arrest could be what tips us into a recession?
I really don't think the answer is banning things.
He's backed himself into a corner here.
Yup.
I love Canada, by the way. I have so many friends.
And Justin Trudeau at one point said,
Although you're getting marriage proposals already.
Lucky me.
Hello, I'm Jamie Poisson. This is Front Burner, CBC's daily news podcast. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. This is me shooting. Oh, wow, I just shot myself.
You killed yourself in like 10 seconds.
Hey Canada, let's end this evening with a white cap. From Vancouver, it's The Debaters! The Debaters, where comedians fight with facts and funny, and this audience picks the winner. Now here's a man who's going to corner kick it up a notch, Steve Patterson.
Hey! Hello, Canada! Welcome back to The Debaters. It is beautiful to be here in the beautiful city of Vancouver. Yep. Vancouver, which is just a little bit delayed from the rest of Canada. Vancouver is home, of course, to Stanley Park, which itself is home to many different types of wildlife. The gray squirrels, for instance, which you see all over the park, are all descended from 8 pairs of squirrels that were given to Vancouver as a gift from New York City in 1909. True story. Hence the expression, those two lovers were going at it like a couple of New York squirrels. You can identify the squirrels by their gray coat, their cinnamon-colored feet, and their distinctive mating call. Hey, over here. Hey, beautiful. Hey, look at me over here. I'm a squirrel. All right. Are you ready to look at a fine pair of debaters? Me too. This comic's jokes never fall on Steph ears. It's Steph Tolive. Steph Tolive, there she is, looking ready, making her way to my right. She's ready to go, and you'll be proud to love this guy. It's Sean Proudlove. Sean Proudlove making his way to the stage. All right, you two. This is an important topic for this day and age. It's fad diets. Are they worth a try? Probably a good place to argue about diets. Vancouver. A few people here may know that I'm the spokesman for the Debaters diet. Like Weight Watchers, it is a points system, and the points really don't mean anything. You start with a well-balanced argument of laughs and logic, and in the middle you can say whatever you want, and by the end you need to tighten things up. The important thing is to watch your podium intake. Enough soft punchlines, we're talking soft waistlines. So, whereas they offer quick and exciting ways to lose weight, be it resolved that fad diets are worth trying. Sean, you're arguing for this. Please, you have 2 minutes, starting now.
Thanks. Why do a fad diet? Well, because sometimes I need to lose 9 to 17 pounds in an infeasible amount of time. And in lieu of going on a cocaine binge, drastic measures must be taken. You see, when I was overweight, I stopped going out and socializing, because in this modern age of cell phones, I saw way too many pictures of me being posted online, unknowingly eating cake in the background. And that kept happening, so I took a chance on a fad diet. Save me, fad diet. I got a Tinder date. My photo doesn't look like me. I've lied about so many other things. I at least have to look like that photo. No problem. First, no more eating solid foods. Some of you may have already done a fad diet and don't even know. Who hasn't bought too much of one item at Costco and been forced to eat it for 10 straight days? Yeah, that's a fad diet. If you were at your thinnest when you were young and poor because you could only afford Ichiban noodles till payday, yeah? Well, then you've done a fad diet. Fad diets offer variety. Yes, some are weird or just plain stupid. Tapeworm diet, broken jaw, cookie diet. Well, that one was good for about 2 days, but there are so many different types of fad diets that work if you maintain discipline. Once, I did a serial killer diet. The exercise is a little weird. It was like sprinting, digging, lots of digging. But the best part is I could eat all the cereal I wanted. Sure, I gained 5 pounds, but it was fun. Steve?
Thanks, Sean. Sean Proudlove. Thanks, Sean. Now, to tell us her hatred of fad diets is not a fad, it's the fit and funny Steph Tolliv.
Thank you. Thank you. I have been on a diet the last 20 years of my life. I have tried literally every fad diet out there, and I can tell you it doesn't work. I could show you by just lifting up my dress and showing my naked body right now, but I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. If you want to know what it looks like for reference, just Google sausage coming out of casing when you get home. Bang on. I've done keto, cayenne pepper, paleo, raw food, liquids, juice. I've done everything. And for the third time in my life, the cabbage soup diet. Has anyone heard of the cabbage soup diet here? Yes. Okay. So this one claims to be the biggest fad diet out there where you lose 10 to 12 pounds in 1 week. Everyone raves about it. You can eat the soup whenever you want. They tell you this. You get hungry, you have a bit of soup. It's like putting a head of cabbage in a hot tub and stirring it around. That's what the soup tastes like. Every day they add something else. Day 4 is where they get you, huh? They're like, hey, guess what? You can have as many bananas as you want. Oh, really, cabbage soup diet? Is this a dare? I ate 12 bananas in 1 day. I'm dead serious. I was starving. I ate 2 bunches of bananas to myself in 10 hours. I didn't poop for 2 weeks. I gained 10 pounds on this diet. But when I did go, 12 exact bananas came out of my butt. And let me tell you, these fad diets do not work.
Steph Tolliv. Yeah. We're debating whether fad diets are good or not on CBC Radio 1. And a lot of you have just put down the banana you were eating. It is time now for the bare knuckle round. We're debating if fad diets are worth trying. So welcome to the Hunger Games. Plus size up your opponent, then throw your weight around while Atkin the fool. This is food for thought, but if you haven't got the stomach for this, you'll paleo the price. If you make a proper meal plan of it, your opponent will have a fat chance of winning. Do you see what I'm saying here? It's do or diet time now. Yeah.
What Steph's not telling you is when she pooped out this banana, she lost 5 pounds.
Also, have you ever taken a photo before? If you're going to put something on Tinder, it's got to be way up. Do you not know the angles yet? It's a very simple thing to do.
Now, you claim to be an expert on losing weight, but have had no results. I don't think you know what an expert is.
It's a Bulgarian thing. We all have extra bones in our body. It's not my fault. Try doing paleo and eating a pack of bacon and a whole brick of cheese a day. It's very hard to lose weight.
I can eat a quarter pack of bacon and half a brick of cheese a day. It's called restraint.
Okay. All right. That's the bare knuckle round. It's time now for the firing line. In my hand, I have a list of questions on fad diets brought to you by the James Bond-inspired weight loss program, Diet Another Day. What diet encouraged users to sleep up to 20 hours a day? Steph.
I was going to say the diet that I'm currently on right now.
Okay. Sean.
Teenager without internet diet.
It's a big one. 3 points from this crowd. Good answer. The actual answer is the Sleeping Beauty diet. What does the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetic recommend you ask yourself before starting any new diet? Steph Tolliv.
Are you willing to lose every single close friend you have?
Audience has given you 1.5 for that. No, they ask you to, before you start any new diet, ask yourself, can I picture myself eating this way forever? It's pretty deep. Which fad diet claimed the more you eat, the more weight you will lose? Sean.
I'm guessing, but is it the self-cannibalism diet?
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
You never gain the weight back. Never. Never.
2 points for that.
Solid.
The actual answer is the grapefruit diet, which is gross, but not as gross as your answer. And that's the firing line, everybody. Here we go. It's almost time for our Centennial Theater audience to pick a winner. But first, here again to tell us why, when it comes to diets, fads are bad. It's the rad, Steph Tollef.
Thank you. Losing 5 pounds of water weight isn't going to make a difference. Everyone who lives in Vancouver will walk outside, get caught in the rain, and absorb it right back up. I feel like the cayenne pepper and cabbage industry were failing, so they panicked and made up these diets. None of the weight on these things stays off. Anyways, what's the point? Winter's coming, keep the weight on. It's getting cold out here, huh? Losing 8 pounds is like, it's a tease. It's like when you get a new car and you're staring at it, it's so nice and shiny. You park it so far away, you come out and there's a scratch. It's never going to stay that way forever. It can't. So just get used to your old, worn-in, soft body and like it, goddammit.
Steph Tollef. Yeah. There's no to diets and those who are listening at home. That was Steph the entire time, although it might have sounded like Joe Pesci came in the middle. What's going on here? Now, here again to tell us that fad diets are his hill to diet on, it's the lean and mean, but not that mean, Sean Proudlove.
You may have already seen the amazing results of a fad diet and not even knowing. How many times you bumped into an old acquaintance that looked way better than the last time you saw them? All you knew is they looked good. And at that moment, it didn't matter that it was achieved because they hadn't socialized with their friends for a month or that they had atomic flatulence from only eating cauliflower and bananas. Didn't matter. The important thing is you saw fad diet results. Now, fad diets may not be the best choice in the long run, but it's a starting point. You can't fat shame people and then also knock someone for making an effort. The more people try, the more they learn about nutrition, and eventually they will find the right fad diet to go from a before to an after.
Sean Proudlove. That's a nice closing argument. All right. Audience, it is up to you to pick a winner. Who thinks that Sean's fad diet facts and funny were first place this debate? Sean Proudlove. Okay. Nice support for Sean. And who thinks Steph's fad diet diatribes demolished in this debate? Steph Tollef. The North Vancouver crowd has spoken. They like Steph, and they do not like fad diets. The winner is Steph Tollef. Right. Big hand for Steph Tollef and Sean Proudlove, everybody.
Hey, Debaters fans, we have a podcast. Subscribe today to have episodes and bonus content sent straight to your device. Go to cbc.ca/thedebaters for more. Now, back to Steve Patterson.
All right, Centennial Theater, are you ready to meet your next pair of debaters? Let's do it. This comic is always polishing his act. It's Sterling Scott. Sterling Scott. There he is. Riling them up. Big smile. He's ready to go. And this comedian's always Gavin, as good as he gets. It's Gavin Clarkson. Gavin Clarkson, how you doing? Fine, presentable. Your topic is in-laws. Are they really your family? I'm going to tell you why we chose these two for this debate. They are actually in-laws. Right? Gavin, from what I understand, you met Sterling's sister, fell in love, and the two of you decided to proclaim your commitment in front of friends and family.
That's correct, Steve.
Okay. Sterling, you were the best man?
No, he wasn't.
Well, after looking around, yeah, I was.
Okay. Right. I'm in the middle of a dispute. Let's save it. Whereas you are essentially strangers forced to get along, be it resolved that in-laws are not your family. Gavin, you are arguing for this, please. You have 2 minutes, starting now.
Sterling, knock knock.
Who's there?
In-laws.
In-laws who?
Exactly. I don't know any of these people. The only thing that I know for certain is that they were the only wedding guests not demanding polka music. People often don't even believe that me and Sterling are in-laws because we're so obviously different. I'll summarize that for the listening audience the best I can. Sterling looks like all of his heroes were in the Apollo Theater, whereas I look like all of mine were in the Apollo space program. I can't even call him my brother without making everybody really uncomfortable. Family you share a history with and are sometimes, unfortunately, always there. Your in-laws are nothing more than just a bunch of strangers all mad that you're banging their sister. What even makes Sterling my in-law, I ask you? Just a piece of paper I signed, the marriage contract. A contract that I signed steps away from the marital suite. That's not a signature you can trust. Do you honestly define your family lines by a stroke of the pen made by a man waiting for a stroke of his pen? The root word for family is actually the Latin famulus, which means servant, and as a married man, that made a lot of sense. But it means that you'll do anything for your family, and your family will do anything for you. Just because someone is your in-laws, it doesn't mean they're family like that. A bunch of strangers claiming you as their servant because of a contract, that's not family, that is slavery. And we abolished slavery in Canada in 1834, and we've been saying sorry as a nation ever since. Thank you.
Gavin Clarkson, ladies and gentlemen, with a great opening argument on why in-laws are not your family. I'd like to thank Sterling for laughing so that we all could. And thank you, Gavin. Now, to tell us that the law he follows is in-laws are family, it's family man, Sterling Scott.
I mean, how could I not consider Gavin my family? For the people listening at home, let me get you guys with a rundown of his credits. He is a straight white male with a master's in geology, a steady job, a promising career as a comedian, and a father that invented the current technology used to mine gold to this day. Just having him in my family photo raises my credit score by 275 points. I honestly was so happy the day that Gavin married my sister. Because in one moment, he placed a ring on her finger and she took his last name and his white privilege. And what about the day when you two decide to have kids? Or as I call it, the gentrification of my sister's womb. Because the property value went up. That future Obama, Drake, or to a lesser extent, Ice-T, will be your son, my nephew, which makes us brothers. I am learning so much through the sharing of our two cultures. Now that we're family, I learned things like what he calls a futon in the living room, I call a one-bedroom with a view. What he calls his savings account, I call an unlimited interest-free loan. But most importantly, what I call my sister, he calls his wife. And that alone makes us family. And like two guys in a small hick town, I'm glad you're the brother that's banging my sister.
Sterling Scott with a beautiful, sterling opening argument on why in-laws are, in fact, family. I'm starting to think you're both going to owe your sister an apology after this debate. It's time now for the bare knuckle round. We're asking whether in-laws are your family in this mother-in-law of all debates. You have a marriage license to kill, so draw the first blood as you bring your opponent to their niece. And make them cry, "Uncle." You could also call for my help if you need a sister. Yes, that pun was relatively bad. Or relatively good. Either way, I'm not married to it. Let's just begin.
You're giving me a lot of credit by thinking that I could raise, like, the next Drake or Ice-T. I would not be that cool of a dad. Like, wouldn't even know how to relate at that level. My favorite R&B album of all time is still the Space Jam soundtrack.
Gavin opened up by saying you guys can obviously see the huge difference between us, which is very evident because I'm funny and he's white.
No one enjoys Sterling Scott more than Sterling Scott. I like that. I like it. We gotta have something just for us. Gavin, what do you say to that?
I'm gonna say he's. I can't even honestly, legitimately, like, he's not even good at being a family member because he forgot to set aside the tickets for the show for his sister coming tonight.
Yeah.
All right, that's the bare knuckle round. Time now for the firing line, brought to you by Bonnie and Clyde Wedding Planners, the outlaws of the in-law making business. FamilyEducation.com says when getting to know in-laws from a culture different than yours, avoid addressing them in what way? Sterling Scott.
The help.
That's good. That's good advice. Yeah. I will give 1.5 points for that one. Gavin?
As your homies.
No, you should never do that. Avoid addressing them by their first names. This is a dumb answer. It's a dumb question. When it comes to family dynamics, studies in the U.S. have found what difference between son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws? Gavin Clarkson.
Gender.
Yeah, good answer. 1 point. Studies in the U.S. have found the difference between son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws is that parents get along better with a son-in-law. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. According to the Huffington Post, one of the rules of managing in-law relationships is to never talk about what? Gavin.
Erectile dysfunction.
That's not the answer I have, so go ahead.
Fight Club.
Yeah, good answer. The actual answer is politics, which could lead to Fight Club, so I give you a full point for that. That's the firing line, everybody. It's just about that magical time for the audience to vote. But first, here again to tell us that he sings "We Are Family" to his in-laws, it's marriage material, Sterling Scott.
When I first met Gavin, he was wearing, and I'm being honest, he was wearing a leather hat and jacket ensemble that was one bullwhip and a small Asian child away from an Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom outfit. And I never guessed that as he crossed the street to come to my show, that he'd be walking into my life forever. You see, family isn't always blood. It's the people in your life who you want in theirs. The ones who accept you for who you are. The ones who would do anything to see you smile and who love you no matter what. I know that sounds like a sappy message from a millennial's Instagram page. Because it is a sappy message from a millennial's Instagram page. But if that generation of lost souls can figure out If they can figure out the bonds of a family run deeper than blood, then I am sure all of you at home and in the audience tonight can do the same as well. Thank you.
Sterling Scott wrapping it up in a nice bow for us. I hope he did not offend our millennial listener. Now, to tell us why just because he's hitched doesn't change his family sitch, it's wedded wonder, Gavin Clarkson.
Family is more than some formalized legality. If you treat your in-laws as family, that's twice as many dinners to be too busy for, twice as many phone calls to feel guilty about not making, and twice as many demands for grandkids you're probably not having, Mom. Sterling became my in-law after I got married, but that didn't make him my family. It was the time we shared after that, the trials and tribulations, the celebrations, and the libations. That's what made him my family and made me proud to quietly call him my brother. So vote for me, and remember that a vote for Sterling is also kind of a vote for slavery, so let's see you handle that paradox.
Gavin Clarkson tossing an interesting curveball at the end of that closing argument. It is up to this theater audience to decide. By applause, who thinks that Gavin's anti-in-law lobbying laid down the law in this debate? Gavin Clarkson. All right, nice support. Nice support for Gavin. And who thinks Sterling's pro-in-law laughs and logic landed the best in this one? Sterling Scott. Well, the crowd has spoken. Sterling is dancing. I'm sorry, Gavin, but they love him like a brother, and so should you. The winner, Sterling Scott. In-laws are family. Big hand for Sterling Scott and Gavin Clarkson, real-life in-laws. Well, that's all for this week. I'm Steve Patterson, saying to all those comics out there doing bad in-law jokes, you wouldn't be doing that if you had my in-laws, because they're great. I'll argue with you again soon, Canada. Good night.
The Debaters! Created by Richard Side. Produced this week by Graham Clark, Nicole Callender, Katie Ellen Humphreys, and Josh Bailey. Technical production by Will Howie and Ross Bragg. Executive producer of CBC Radio Comedy is Tracy Rideout. And thanks to everyone at the Centennial Theatre in North Vancouver. Hey Brandon, Manitoba! The Debaters is coming to you. We'll be at the WMCA on April 3rd. For details, visit our website. We're cbc.ca/thedebaters.
For more CBC podcasts, go to cbc.ca/podcasts.